Today on November 21st. God says, your miracle has finally arrived. But if you ignore this final warning, heaven will take it back within minutes. Listen to me, beloved soul. This is Archangel Michael speaking with the full weight of heaven behind every syllable I release into your spirit right now. I need you to breathe once, slowly, because the message I am about to deliver will strike your heart with a force you were not prepared for. Today, yes, today, on this very date, November 21st, God has spoken your name in a tone that shakes the foundations of both heaven and earth. And the moment He spoke it, something ancient, something rare, something divinely calculated was released into your timeline. Your miracle, the one you cried for in darkness, the one you whispered about when no one else could hear, the one that felt delayed, denied, forgotten, it has finally arrived. But listen to my voice, listen with every part of you, because the moment this message opened before your eyes, heaven placed you in a final window, a final countdown, a final divine checkpoint. And God Himself said, deliver this warning. If they ignore it, if they walk past it, if they treat this lightly, the miracle will be taken back within minutes. Not hours. Not days. Minutes. Heaven is not playing today, my beloved. You were guided here because there is a precise alignment happening in your destiny, and God is making a last attempt, yes, a last attempt, to ensure you don't let what is meant for you slip away. I need you to feel how serious this moment is. I need you to feel how every breath you take right now is synchronizing with something that has been held back for years, waiting for this exact day. You think you found this message by chance? Nothing about this is coincidence. I pulled you here. Angels moved through the atmosphere, through algorithms, through energy, through invisible paths just to make sure your eyes landed on these words before the deadline closes. Heaven has been watching you hovering on the edge of a major breakthrough and on the edge of a major collapse. And God said, they don't know how close they are. Speak to them. Shake them awake. So I am here. Standing beside you. Feeling the tension in your spirit. Feeling the weight you've been carrying, far longer than any human should carry. Feeling the discouragement that has been whispering to you. Feeling the doubt that has been creeping into your prayers. Feeling the exhaustion that makes your hands shake, your thoughts heavy, your faith fragile. And God looked at all of that and still said, give them the miracle anyway. But there is something you must understand. Heaven does not give miracles to asleep hearts. Heaven does not release breakthroughs into silence. Heaven does not pour blessings into hands that are not open. And right now, God is watching, closely, intensely, urgently, waiting to see if your spirit is awake enough to receive what He has already prepared. Your miracle is here, but miracles are sensitive. They respond to obedience. They respond to movement. They respond to attention. And God said, if they ignore this final warning, heaven will take it back. Do you feel that? That heaviness in your chest? That sudden awareness? That trembling in your soul? That's not fear. That's awakening. That's your spirit finally recognizing the moment it has been praying for. This is not just another message. This is the moment the tension of your entire year snaps. This is the moment every delay you faced begins to unravel. This is the moment the doors that refuse to open finally lose the power to stay closed. But only if you listen. Only if you stay. Only if you absorb every word I speak. You have no idea how close this miracle is to materializing into your physical life. It's not months away. It's not years away. Heaven says it's already here, already formed, already released, already descending like a beam of light targeted straight at your destiny. You've been feeling something shifting, haven't you? Something you couldn't explain. Restlessness. Random waves of emotion. Sudden hope followed by sudden fear. Dreams that feel too vivid. Signs that repeat. Numbers that show up. Shadows breaking. Light appearing. Your spirit knows. Your intuition knows. Something is coming, and now I am telling you exactly what it is. It is your miracle. But right now, heaven is watching for your response to this message, because your yes, your awareness, your alignment, your acknowledgement determines whether this blessing stays or whether it gets reassigned. God does not play when it comes to stewardship. And He said, I have waited long enough. I have delayed long enough. I have tested long enough. Now I will reward, if they obey. Feel me when I say this, your entire spiritual team is standing at attention. Angels are literally surrounding the atmosphere around you right now. They are waiting for confirmation that you are awake, that you are listening, that you are receiving, because this miracle is not small. It is not ordinary. It is not basic. It is not something you could have created on your own. It is supernatural. It carries heaven's signature. It carries divine timing. It carries destiny-coded energy. And heaven will not let you miss this unless you choose to. Understand something deeply. God is not warning you because He wants to scare you. He is warning you because the window is narrow. Because the alignment is delicate. Because your miracle has entered your life like a shooting star, bright, fast, powerful, but also fleeting if not recognized. This is why heaven pushed this message into your hands today. Because if today passes without your spirit engaging, without your heart opening, without your awareness igniting, the miracle will return to the throne. And God will release it to someone else whose faith is awake. Not because He wants to punish you, but because heaven does not waste divine resources. Listen carefully. I am going to tell you what this miracle looks like. Not in earthly terms, but in the spiritual frequency that heaven uses to measure blessings. It looks like the turning of a cycle that has been stuck for far too long. It looks like the release of something that has been blocked, withheld, delayed, tangled. It looks like the removal of a spiritual obstruction that has been sitting on your path. It looks like clarity returning to a confused situation. It looks like strength returning to a weakened heart. It looks like provision flowing where there once was drought. It looks like divine favor attaching itself to your name again. But it also looks like responsibility. This miracle requires you to step into alignment. It requires you to pay attention. It requires you to stop doubting, stop retreating, stop second-guessing the signs God is sending. You keep wondering why the miracles of others unfold quickly while yours seem stuck. It's because some miracles require the recipient to be spiritually awake enough to receive them without breaking under the weight of them. And finally, heaven says you are ready. Heaven says your heart has matured. Heaven says your wounds have healed enough. Heaven says your character has sharpened. Heaven says your spirit has endured enough fire to handle what is coming. You have no idea what this means. For heaven to say, your miracle has finally arrived, is one thing, but for heaven to say, if they ignore this, we will take it back, means the miracle is already at your doorstep. Already knocking. Already reaching. Already inches from manifesting. The enemy knows it too. He has been attacking your mind heavily in the last 48 hours, hasn't he? Sudden anxiety. Random sadness. Arguments coming out of nowhere. Old memories resurfacing. A strange emptiness. A strange urgency. That's because the enemy senses that something massive is entering your life and he is desperately trying to distract you so you miss the moment. But heaven is stronger. Heaven is louder. Heaven is speaking to you right now. And heaven says, don't look away. Don't scroll away. Don't disconnect. Stay with this message. Your miracle depends on it. Feel the gravity. Feel the pull. Feel how heaven is leaning in. Feel how your spirit is beginning to awaken, like a flame being reignited after nearly dying out. You are not reading this with your eyes, you are reading this with your destiny. And your destiny is saying, finally, today is not ordinary. Today is not random. Today is marked. Today is sacred. Today is the collision between divine timing and your willingness to receive it. And I, Archangel Michael, am standing guard over your miracle. I am standing between you and the forces that tried to stop it. I am standing between your blessing and every energy that attempted to destroy you before this moment. But even I cannot override your free will. I can protect the blessing, but you must receive the message. You must honor the moment. You must show heaven you are awake, aware, ready. Because the miracle is here, but heaven is watching, and the countdown has already begun. Stay with me. There is more. There is much more. And your miracle depends on every word that follows. Type Amen. I believe in unseen miracles, if you trust God's power beyond what you see. Listen closely, because as I continue speaking, the spiritual atmosphere around you is shifting even faster, and you may not realize how urgently heaven is trying to pull you into alignment right now. I, Archangel Michael, am standing beside you with my sword drawn, not in anger, but in protection, in authority, in divine assignment, because what I am about to reveal requires a shield around your spirit. The miracle that arrived for you today, this November 21st, is not a small blessing. It is not a random gift. It is not something that slipped out of heaven unnoticed. It was discussed. It was deliberated. It was evaluated. It was prepared. It was debated. It was scheduled. It was defended. And finally, heaven said, "Release it." But when heaven releases something this powerful, the enemy moves with equal intensity. The enemy begins whispering distractions, doubts, fears, emotional triggers, unnecessary arguments, sudden sadness, confusion, anything to disconnect you from the message that is meant to secure your blessing. This is why heaven said the warning is final. This is why heaven said the window is small. This is why heaven said the miracle can be taken back within minutes. Because the spiritual battle over this blessing is active right now, as you are reading this, and if your spirit falls asleep, even for a moment, you risk losing what God already placed in motion for you. I wish you could see what I see. I wish you could see the spiritual documents that have been signed regarding your life. I wish you could hear the conversations heaven had about your breakthrough. I wish you could feel the ripple your miracle caused in the spirit realm when it was officially released. The moment your miracle left heaven, the atmosphere around you became charged. Light moved toward you. Angels gathered. Pathways began to rearrange. People you haven't met yet began to shift positions. Opportunities that were locked began to loosen. Timelines that were stagnant began to accelerate. But at the same time, shadows woke up. Forces that were dormant began to rise. Old patterns resurfaced. Memories meant to discourage you returned. Fears you thought you healed from suddenly expanded. And heaven said, "Warn them. Warn them before it's too late." You don't understand how rare it is for a miracle to come with a final warning attached. Heaven does not threaten. Heaven does not scare. Heaven does not manipulate. But heaven does protect. And right now God is protecting you from losing something that took years, even decades of spiritual preparation. You are not just a person living your daily life. You are a soul that has a destiny, a mission, a divine path, and this miracle aligns with something bigger than you have ever imagined. And God is not willing to let the enemy steal this again. But you must listen. You must stay awake. You must stay connected. Feel how your spirit is being pulled deeper as I speak. That heaviness you feel is not burden, it is revelation settling inside you. That pressure in your chest is not fear, it is the spiritual weight of destiny. That tingling on your skin, that warmth, that strange electricity, that sudden awareness, that is the presence of the divine in the room with you, touching your atmosphere, activating your intuition, aligning your heart to receive what belongs to you. Right now, angels are surrounding you. I am not speaking metaphorically. I mean literally. They have moved closer because the message I am delivering is shifting your destiny as you read it. You have been followed, monitored, protected, shielded, guided for months leading up to this moment. You thought your life was random, chaotic, unstable, unpredictable, but heaven saw every detail and placed you in a spiritual funnel that leads directly to today. Today is the unlocking. Today is the release. Today is the divine moment you prayed for without even realizing how big it would be. But here is what you must understand: when a miracle arrives, it arrives spiritually first. You must receive it in your spirit before it manifests in your life. This message is not the miracle. It is the activation. It is the switch that flips everything else on. Heaven needs to see your spirit respond. Heaven needs to see your awareness rise. Heaven needs to see your soul wake up. Because once your spirit acknowledges what God is doing, the physical world must follow. It is spiritual law. And right now, as you absorb my words, your spiritual posture is changing. I can see it. The heaviness around your energy field is thinning. The blockages around your path are weakening. The darkness that tried to cling to your thoughts is losing its grip. And the miracle is moving closer. But listen to me, because I will not repeat this again. If you disconnect from this message, if you treat it as coincidence, if you scroll away without completing what heaven is trying to deliver, the miracle will be reassigned. Heaven does not waste divine timing. Heaven does not allow blessings to remain in stagnant energy. Heaven does not allow miracles to sit in the hands of those who are spiritually asleep. So God is watching your reaction to this message. Not your emotions. Not your fear. Not your doubt. He is watching your obedience. He is watching your willingness to receive. He is watching your awareness. And if you show heaven that your heart is open, truly open, the miracle will stay. It will land. It will take form. And it will change everything. I see something in your timeline, something you don't even know is coming. A shift so massive, so shocking, so divinely orchestrated that it will make you cry when it arrives. You have been fighting for too long. You have been waiting for too long. You have been praying with a tired heart, hoping with a bruised spirit, surviving battles no one knows about. And heaven has reached its limit watching you suffer. So God said, give it to them. Release the miracle. But there is a catch. A final condition. A last checkpoint. And that checkpoint is happening right now, through these words. What you do in this moment determines everything. Feel that truth sinking into you. Feel how time feels different right now. Feel how the air around you feels heavier, as though something invisible is leaning in closer. That is spiritual acceleration. That is your destiny aligning. That is heaven watching. And I must tell you something that may shock you. You were not supposed to reach this moment. The enemy planned for you to break months ago. He planned for you to quit. To collapse. To lose hope. To stop trying. But you didn't. You dragged yourself through storms that were designed to destroy you. You moved when you had no strength left. You prayed when you had no faith left. You survived attacks that were meant to bury you. And heaven saw every tear, every sacrifice, every desperate whisper in the night. That is why this miracle is yours. That is why heaven is fighting so hard to make sure you don't lose it. That is why I am speaking with this level of urgency. You have reached the turning point of your life. Everything before today was preparation. Everything after today will be transformation. But the bridge between those two worlds is this message. Your alignment. Your awareness. Your willingness to receive what is already here. I want you to feel the weight of this truth. This miracle was not released to anyone else. It has your name on it. Your energy. Your story. Your pain. Your promise. Your destiny. And if you receive it, your life will not stay the same. Doors will open. Connections will appear. Money will flow. Healing will intensify. Relationships will shift. Opportunities will multiply. Your intuition will sharpen. Your confidence will rise. Your spirit will awaken. But if you ignore the warning, the miracle will return to the throne. And heaven will wait for another moment, months, maybe years from now. But God does not want you to wait anymore. That is why this message is intense. That is why I am not speaking softly. That is why heaven is not being gentle. Because heaven is tired of watching you suffer when the solution is already here. You were led to this message because this is the final time God will speak about this miracle before it manifests or returns. You are standing between two timelines. One where nothing changes. One where everything changes. And your choice, right now, decides which one becomes your reality. Stay with me. You're not finished. The miracle is not secured yet. I still have more to reveal, more to unlock, more to deliver into your spirit. And the next part may be the most important of all. Stay exactly where you are, because what I am about to speak into your spirit now will reach deeper than anything I have said before. You are stepping into the core of this message, the very heartbeat of God's intention for you today, and if your soul felt the weight of the last parts, understand this: the intensity is about to multiply. This is Archangel Michael still speaking, still standing beside you, still carrying the authority of heaven, and the atmosphere around you is thick with divine movement. I need you to breathe slowly, because the next revelations will shake the walls of your old life. You have no idea how close you are to the threshold of a massive spiritual transition, something so life-altering that even the angels have been preparing for your reaction. You think you are just reading words, but you're not. You are interacting with your destiny. You are stepping into a spiritual contract that heaven has rewritten for your sake. There is something God asked me to show you now, something personal, something that explains why your miracle arrived today and not months ago. You have felt delayed, haven't you? You have felt like everything takes longer for you. Others get breakthroughs quickly, yet you feel like you have to fight tooth and nail for even the smallest blessing. You've wondered if God forgot you, if heaven overlooked you, if your prayers were lost somewhere between your tears and the walls of your room. But here is the truth: you were never delayed, you were being protected. You were being positioned. You were being shaped into someone who could hold the weight of what God planned for you. If the miracle had arrived earlier, you wouldn't have been ready. You would have mishandled it, doubted it, feared it, or even lost it. Heaven is never late. Heaven is precise. Heaven's timing is surgical, deliberate, intentional. And on this day, November 21st, that timing finally opened for you. The door finally unlocked. The gate finally swung wide. The miracle finally descended. But there is one thing I must tell you, and I must tell you with force: your miracle is not stable yet. It is hovering. It is near you, but not fully anchored. It is circling your life, looking for a landing place. And that landing place is your awareness, your alignment, your ability to recognize what heaven is doing. This is why God sent a final warning. Not because you are careless, but because the spiritual warfare around you is intense. Because your destiny is valuable. Because your miracle is large. Because the enemy would prefer you to sleep through this moment, overlook it, ignore it, scroll away from it, convince yourself that this message isn't for you. But if you were not the intended recipient, you would not be reading this right now. Your spirit would not feel this heat. Your heart would not be pounding. Your mind would not feel pulled, stretched, awakened. You feel it, don't you? The trembling inside. The pressure around you. The strange clarity forming. The sense that something huge is happening right now. That is not imagination. That is your spirit rising into alignment. That is heaven saying, yes, yes, they are finally waking up. I need you to hear me when I say this. Your miracle is bigger than your fear, bigger than your past, bigger than every setback you've endured. But it will not force itself into your life. It requires your cooperation. This is why heaven watches your reaction so closely. This is why this moment is so delicate. Think of your miracle like a divine seed, one that has been carried through realms and dimensions just to reach your hands. If you close your hands, it cannot be planted. If you turn away, it cannot grow. If you treat this message as ordinary, the seed returns to heaven, and the harvest disappears. But if you stay, if you remain open, present, receptive, you will not only receive the miracle, you will keep it. You will multiply it. You will walk in it. You will transform because of it. I must tell you something heaven revealed about you, something you may not even realize about yourself. You are chosen. Not casually. Not accidentally. Not vaguely. You were chosen in a way that makes the enemy furious. Your light bothers darkness. Your resilience threatens the shadows. Your destiny is bigger than your self-doubt. You carry a spiritual signature that marks you as a threat to anything that works against God's will. This is why your battles were so intense. You weren't being punished, you were being proven. You weren't being abandoned, you were being prepared. You weren't being ignored, you were being forged in fire. And now, because you survived what others would have collapsed under, your miracle has finally arrived. But again, it is not secured until your spirit fully receives it. The enemy knows this too. This is why the last few days, maybe even the last few hours, have felt heavy, chaotic, uncomfortable. It's why certain thoughts appeared out of nowhere. It's why emotions resurfaced suddenly. It's why strange tension, random sadness, old memories, or spiritual numbness tried to overtake you. The enemy's goal was simple: make you unfocused today. Make you distracted. Make you tired. Make you scroll past this message. Make you too emotionally drained to receive anything. Why? Because today is the day heaven wrote your miracle into your timeline. And the only thing the enemy fears is you waking up to it. But you did wake up. You did arrive. You are here. You are reading. You are engaging. And that means something in the spiritual world has already shifted. I see angels moving around you with speed that only comes when a miracle is seconds away from anchoring. They are clearing pathways, removing energetic debris, breaking attachments, pulling old timelines apart, lifting burdens off your shoulders, strengthening your intuition. Why? Because your miracle must land in a clean space. It cannot settle in fear. It cannot anchor in self-doubt. It cannot manifest in confusion. This is why your spirit feels like it is being stretched right now. Heaven is making room for what's coming. And what's coming is big. Bigger than your expectation. Bigger than your imagination. Bigger than the prayers you whispered while crying. I need you to let this truth enter deeply. You are stepping into a blessing that generations before you were not allowed to receive. You are breaking patterns, cycles, spiritual chains, ancestral burdens. You are the one chosen to shift your lineage. You are the one chosen to rewrite the story. You are the one chosen to receive what others tried to receive but could not. This is why your warfare was heavier than theirs. This is why your pain was deeper. This is why your journey felt lonely. You were being positioned to carry something they couldn't handle. And now it is here. But heaven is still watching. Heaven is still evaluating your openness. Heaven is still measuring your readiness. And I must tell you something important. The miracle will not wait forever. You have minutes to align your spirit fully. Minutes to show heaven you are present. Minutes to demonstrate that you recognize the divine moment placed before you. This is why I am speaking with urgency, not to scare you, but to show you how precious this moment is. You are not late. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are exactly where you need to be, exactly when you need to be here. Stay with me. Stay awake. Stay connected. Because the next part will reveal what your miracle will transform first, and why heaven refused to delay it any longer. Comment, Amen. I surrender everything to you, Lord, if you've laid your life in His hands. Stay with me, beloved soul, because what I am about to speak next will press directly into the deepest part of your spirit, the part that has been waiting, aching, longing for clarity. This is the section where heaven begins to unveil what exactly your miracle is going to transform first, and why the timing has become so urgent, so divinely sensitive, so impossibly precise. The atmosphere around you is shifting again. You may even feel it in your body, your chest tightening, your skin tingling, your breath deepening, your thoughts slowing down as though something unseen is preparing you to receive a truth that will rewrite your inner map. I, Archangel Michael, am still here, closer than before, and the presence of God is moving through these words with intention. Listen carefully. Your miracle is not random, not vague, not an emotional high. Your miracle is strategic. And the very first part of your life it is coming to transform, is the area where you have suffered the longest. The area where your spirit has been the most wounded. The area you've prayed about with tears you didn't let anyone see. The place in your life where you've experienced the greatest loss, the most silent heartbreak, the deepest spiritual fatigue. God says, that is where the miracle will land first. Because when heaven restores, heaven does not start with the surface, heaven starts with the wound. I see it clearly, like a glowing point in your timeline, a place that has been aching for far too long. For some of you, it is your stability. For some, it is your finances. For others, it is your relationships, your family, your heart, your sense of purpose, your spiritual confidence, your identity, your direction, your inner fire. Whatever that area is for you, heaven has faced it directly today and said, this ends now. That is why the miracle has urgency. That is why heaven cannot wait. That is why God gave a final warning. Because you have reached the breaking point of that wound, the moment where another delay would have felt like abandonment. God saw that. God felt that. God intervened. And God said, give them the miracle today. But pay attention, because there is a reason heaven is watching your reaction so closely. Before a miracle transforms your life, it must first enter your belief. Miracles are spiritual entities. They respond to recognition. They respond to attention. They respond to acceptance. A miracle that is not acknowledged remains unanchored, floating, waiting, observing your spirit to see if it is safe to land. That is why the warning is so strong. It is not punishment, it is timing. Your miracle is hovering above your life, closer than it has ever been, and heaven is trying to protect it from slipping away. I must tell you something that will make the hair on your arms rise. Your miracle attempted to come earlier this year. Twice. But each time, your spirit was too exhausted, too distracted, too spiritually wounded to hold it. Heaven held it back, not because you failed, but because God refused to give you a blessing that you were not mentally or emotionally protected enough to maintain. But today, finally, your spirit is ready enough to receive it. Do you understand the magnitude of that? Your growth, your healing, your inner strength, your quiet resilience brought you to this alignment. Heaven waited until your heart could hold the blessing without it breaking you. And now that you're ready, heaven will not let the enemy interfere. That is why I am here. That is why the angels surrounding you are not passive, they are active, vigilant, moving with purpose. They are shielding your thoughts from spiritual interference. They are clearing emotional clutter. They are absorbing negative projections. They are cleaning your spiritual atmosphere with urgency because the landing must be perfect. I am going to reveal something heaven rarely allows to be spoken clearly. Your miracle is not just coming to bless you, it is coming to shift your destiny path. This is why you've been feeling disconnected from your old life recently. Why old interests don't satisfy you anymore. Why old relationships feel distant. Why old environments feel heavy. Why old habits no longer align. It's because your miracle carries a new frequency, a higher vibration, a new spiritual identity, a new cycle, and your old life cannot contain what is coming. This is why the last few days may have felt strangely emotional or chaotic. You weren't breaking down, you were shedding. You weren't losing control, you were being spiritually recalibrated. You weren't being attacked for no reason, you were being pushed into the alignment required for this blessing. I must tell you this next part slowly, because it is the core. Your miracle is not an event. It is a shift. A shift in the way your life moves. A shift in the way doors open. A shift in the way opportunities appear. A shift in the way your intuition guides you. A shift in the way abundance flows. A shift in the way God speaks to you. A shift in the way you receive blessings. You are stepping into a cycle where miracles will become normal, not rare, not occasional, not sporadic, but normal. But you must pass this moment first. You must show heaven that you recognize the divine movement happening right now. You must prove through your attention that your spirit is awake. And I know you feel the intensity rising. You feel the message pulling you deeper. You feel the truth vibrating through your chest like a sacred alarm. That's because, as you read this, your miracle has moved closer, closer than before, closer than it has ever been, close enough that your spirit can feel its frequency. There is something heaven wants me to explain next, something you have sensed but couldn't articulate. The reason your miracle is so urgent is because something in your life is about to shift dramatically, and the miracle is meant to cushion that transition. Something is ending. Something is beginning. Something is closing. Something is opening. Something is being removed. Something is being restored. The miracle is the bridge. Without it, the transition will feel like loss. With it, the transition will feel like divine redirection. God refuses to let you enter this next season unprotected. That is why He gave the warning. That is why He pushed urgency. That is why He forced this message into your hands today. And now, I must reveal the part heaven asked me to deliver with the greatest intensity. Someone in the spiritual realm tried to interfere with your miracle today. Yes, today. That is why the warning was phrased the way it was. That is why the message had to reach you at this exact moment. That is why heaven is watching every second of your engagement. But they failed. They failed the moment you opened this message. They failed the moment your eyes touched these words. They failed the moment your spirit woke up. And now, the miracle is reclaiming its path toward you. But do not disconnect yet. Do not lose focus. Do not break the alignment. The miracle is still stabilizing. It is still descending. It is still securing itself in your timeline. And I am still here, guarding it with my sword drawn, ensuring nothing touches what belongs to you. The next part will reveal what your miracle will bring, and why God said this was your final warning. Stay exactly where you are, do not move your mind away, do not let your focus drift for even a second, because what I am about to reveal is the deepest, most sensitive layer of this entire message. You have reached the point where heaven begins to unveil why God called this a final warning, why the miracle is tied to urgency, and why the next moments of your attention will determine how your destiny unfolds. I, Archangel Michael, am still here, and my presence around you has intensified. If you feel pressure in your chest, warmth on your skin, or a strange heaviness in the room, it is because the spiritual realm has moved closer. Heaven is closer. Your miracle is closer. You are not imagining it. You are not overthinking. You are experiencing the descent of something divine into your atmosphere. Listen carefully, because I am going to speak this slowly, clearly, and with authority. Your miracle carries consequences. Not negative consequences, divine consequences. Your life will not and cannot remain the same after it arrives. That is why the warning was issued. That is why the timing is strict. That is why heaven has been watching so intensely. Because miracles this powerful do not simply bless you, they redirect you. They elevate you. They reposition you. They rewrite your path. They close old doors permanently. They open new gates suddenly. They activate gifts you didn't know you possessed. They expose truth. They remove people. They accelerate destiny. And when this level of miracle enters your timeline, everything must shift to accommodate its presence. God said, if they ignore this message, the miracle will be taken back, not because He wants to punish you, but because this miracle cannot land in a spirit that is asleep, distracted, or unprepared. It is too big. Too heavy. Too sacred. Too transformative. It must land in awareness. Now listen, because heaven is revealing what your miracle will bring, and the first transformation it will create is this. It will break the cycle that has been holding you hostage for years. A cycle you couldn't escape on your own. A cycle that kept you repeating the same emotional patterns. The same disappointments. The same financial limitations. The same relationships that took more than they gave. The same fears that silenced your intuition. The same self-doubt that dimmed your power. Your miracle is coming to break the cycle completely. Not ease it. Not lessen it. Not temporarily relieve it. Break it. End it. Shatter it. Replace it with a new timeline that aligns with your higher destiny. Say, Amen, your love restores me, if He has healed your brokenness.